Hey, welcome into another episode of Halos in the Infield postgame with your host, ToddFox. That is me. Welcome into a nice way to end your Wednesday evening with an Angels victory. How about that? And not only an Angels victory, but Shohei Ohtani showing out. See what I did there? 40 home runs as he jacked one into right field. He stole all the press and he stole the show at Miggy's own hometown. Everyone waiting for 500. It's going to come sooner or later. I actually thought that he was going to give up the 500 home run. He did give up a home run today, but to another hitter. I forgot the name. I'm not going to get into the stats of that guy because that's irrelevant in a 3-1 victory, but I'll just tell you this. The home run that Ohtani hit, he's helping his own cause. Upton hit a 2-run homer in the first inning. Angels did what they've done all season, it seems, or at least in the last 3/4 of the season up until this point, which is score early and do absolutely nothing the rest of the game. Just have launch angled and don't get anybody on base. Don't try to work anything. The only time the Angels had a true threat to the Detroit Tigers at all to add to the lead is when both Marsh and Adele irked out singles. You know, Adele's hustle, Marsh getting a single, and they moved to second and third, and of course the Angels couldn't score them. But yeah, that was it. Other than that, it was a Shohei Ohtani show. He was struck out 8. And you know what? Here's the difference between Shohei in the first half of the season, where he probably could have gotten a few more wins with the offense doing better back then, if he would have managed his pitches a whole lot better. Now, they talked about it tonight with the split fingers. He's not relying on that pitch. That pitch is usually hit or miss, literally in the strike zone. It's something to where if it's not moving enough, it's going to be a ball every time. And how many times early in the season, if you can remember, Shohei Ohtani was getting into a bunch of 3-ball, 2-strike counts, and he was lasting 4, maybe 5 innings only. And so it was hampering the pitching staff. The back end of the bullpen. It was also hampering the offense because they had to take him out early. But see, the thing is, though, with him working on his pitches and obviously pitching a lot better, I don't know who that goes on. I don't know who you give the credit to. I don't know if that's Matt Wise or him tinkering his own stuff. But he has laid off the split finger pitch. He's gone more fastball, more slider, more curve. It's helped him out big time to get early strikes, get ahead, and then strike out guys or work that slider into ground ball outs to get easy outs. He's gotten way more double plays. He's kept the ball down, only surrendering 8 home runs total for the year, which is pretty damn dominant. Now, there is talk about him being a Cy Young candidate as well. And there could be because Jacob deGrom's injuries that always happen with him. Other pitchers like Lance Lynn is dominating, but he's not a name. See, now Lance Lynn is doing his thing with Chicago in a first-place team. He could get discredited for that, or he could get credited for that. The only thing is, a guy like Shohei Ohtani is international. The things he's doing in the batter's box, then on the pitching mound, what he's doing in the batter's box could actually help him get that Cy Young, because even though his wins won't equal the pitchers that are contending for the Cy Young right now, even though the innings won't match those pitchers, what will match is the fact that he's hitting 40 home runs as of right now, and he's likely going to hit at least 50 for the season. You couple that along with the 8 wins right now, he's likely going to be double-digit wins by the end of the season. He's on a roll right now. His strikeouts are going up. His walks are way down. That's another thing that's helped him go longer into games. I think he's going to come from behind and steal the Cy Young in this final month and a half of the season within, 5 or 6 more starts. I think he's going to steal it, and it's going to be amazing. It's going to be, unfortunately for the Angels, as a collective team, it'll be a loss. But as for Shohei Ohtani, it'll be probably one of his proudest moments, unless for some reason, somehow, some way, he can top this in the future. My bet would be he's going to win the MVP. He's going to win probably Silver Slugger. He's probably going to win a Cy Young. So, I mean, it could be the greatest season stat padding, whatever you want to call it, accomplishment of all time out of any kind of baseball player. This is something that a lot of people say, well, he's doing what Babe Ruth did. Babe Ruth pitched to plumbers. Babe Ruth pitched to guys who were eating hot dogs, smoking cigars in the dugout, drinking beer, or hung over. These weren't world-class athletes back in the day. Half the time he pitched, there was no black athlete either. There was no Dominican athlete either. There was no best of the world. It was just what we had in the U.S. So, and that wasn't the greatest athletes back in the time. There was no Gatorade. There's no workout regimen. They just did whatever they could to be better, and that was it. Most of the time, it was off batter's eyes. So, yes, for Babe Ruth's time, that was great. But I want to push that aside. There is nobody comparable to Shohei Ohtani. And that's just not me talking bias. If he played for the Mets, I'd be saying the same exact thing. This guy is on another level, on another freaking level that we've never, ever seen before, and we may never see. So the beautiful thing about that is not only is he a wonderful human being, not only is he like just the nicest guy, his swag when he hit the home run and how the guys love him and everything else like that, he brings nothing but positive energy to baseball. And the fact that we have him on the Angels is even better. So what that does for me is it makes me mad. And why does it make me mad with those two things that I just discussed? Because we need to build around not only Trout that we had and we all appreciate and we all love, and he's a nice guy, MVP guy, good for baseball. We now have two. And one, you could say Trout is generational and we'll never see another Trout player. Okay, we might not see that type of player, but we will never see a guy like Ohtani. And we've got both of them on the same damn team. The only thing that makes me mad, again, we have to build a winner around this team. And around these guys. These guys need to be in October. They need to be winning in October. They need hardware other than personal accomplishments. That's what these guys need. And when it comes down to it, that's what they're missing. And Trout hasn't had that yet. So as long as fans have been saying the last 2 years we're wasting his talent, I don't want to get to a situation 5 years from now and say, he's won 2 or 3 Cy Youngs. He's the ace of the staff. He's hit multiple home runs. He's got 200 home runs in 4 or 5 years. I don't want to get to that position and say we still haven't seen a playoff push yet. So again, with what happened with Perry Messiah, whatever his name is, 20 pitchers in the freaking in the draft, with what we've got now in the rotation, which looks very promising unless our training staff continues to injure them on purpose. I feel like they're doing some sort of voodoo or whatever because Sandoval went down today. They said Sandoval's pitching tomorrow, but we got reports that he's on a 10-day IL. So likely he's done for the season. Thank you, training staff. But this team needs to be built and built strong around it. Now is the freaking time. There is no time for error. There is no room for error. This team has 2 generational players right there to not only captivate the audience of Southern California, but maybe all of California, maybe the nation, maybe the world, because we've already got the Japanese market. Number 1 rated team being watched in baseball in Japan. Now, Japan loves their baseball. They have plenty of teams that play in Japanese leagues. You know what the number 1 team right now is being watched over there? Yes, your Angels. Your Angels are the number 1 watched baseball team. Even their own countrymen don't get the love that the Angels get. Everyone is on Shohei Ohtani on everything he freaking does. So why not us? Why not we exploit what we have in a good way? Not talking about a bad way, but a good way by building a winner. That way fans can not just be a fan of Ohtani. They could not just be a fan of Trout. They could be a fan of the team. And this brand can jump. I mean, for a $3.5 billion man that's worth that much money in Artie Moreno, he has yet to capitalize on the freaking gold mine and the oil that he has struck in his own backyard. He rather just fix up the goddamn surrounding of the stadium and not do it on the field. Now, maybe that has changed with Perry in office. We have to see. I've been encouraged with what he's done. But this offseason, I said it last year thinking there was going to be a change with Epler. But now that we have Perry, this is the most critical, and I'm telling you, critical offseason in some time, dude, because this is either going to make or break or keep us on 500 going into the next year again. And that just is just disgraceful if that happens. An absolute disgrace. Absolute disgrace. So let me get into some of these comments. I went on for a little bit longer because I'm just blown away by what he did tonight. Let's talk to the comment or see the comments here. Madi says, "Light that baby up, Todd. I'm glad to hear from you. Legendary game from Shohei." Chase says, "Light that baby up." Nathan McCure. Roll says, "It's kind of sad that this is the first away game that we won 2 of the 3 games." The Fernando says, "Hell yeah, Ohtani proving that he is the MVP, and there's truly no debate." Let's get down here. Manny says, "Today was the first time I got excited about this team in a while, besides Adele's great great catch or grand slam, I'm sorry." And then Ace says Ohtani was epic. And then the save tonight by Raciel Iglesias, another great save right there. I didn't even bring that up as he went in there in the 9th inning and just shut it. Boss Hog says Marsh sucks. Okay. Let's see. Marsh needs to go back into Salt Lake. Boss Hog, if we had our guys up here right now, he would be in AAA. And you are right, Bosch. For right now, he sucks, but I'm telling you, next year, give him a shot. He'll be ready. Goddamn Ohtani, the things I would do to him. Isaiah's World, it has a bit of a crush. Louis714 says, "Showtime." Let's see, and then we go down here. Ohtani has been healthy all season. That's been the one thing that's been key, Ace says, and I agree right there. Don Hammond says, "Ohtani is a different breed. It's insane the things that he does. What can that man do?" And fire right there by VT. Let's be honest, Ohtani is the main reason the Angels are in the sports media. That's true. They'd be do with no Trout right now and no Ohtani. This team would be just a watch. It would be like the Clippers of baseball. Shohei is amazing. And Drizzle says, "Where would the Angels be without him?" Well, I just said the Clippers of baseball. They can't stand that he's an Angel too. Yeah, that's right. A lot of the media does not like that. The Angel's grandma says Shohei Ohtani for president. He could probably do that too. He is so special. What a guy, isn't he? David MLB1 says we will make the playoffs when we have an electronic strike zone. Yeah, because the strike zone screws us over time in, time out. Then what about that replay where we had an opportunity to probably win that replay because the ball wasn't completely in the glove and magically our phone and the walkie-talkie don't work? Joseph Trevino, congratulations, by the way, on your baby. I just want to give you a shout out right there. Shohei, new face of the Angels, period. Thank you, sir. And that's coming from a Dodger fan. So, you know what? No Dodger slander for me today for that comment. Isaiah says if we don't make the playoffs next year and with Trout and Ohtani, I'm going to be effing disappointed. I hear you. I think it's going to be more than disappointment, man. It's going to be hard to swallow as far as an Angel fan moving forward. Louis714 says the Angels need to build and go hard and getting players that want to come here. 500 again, and Drizzle says. Nick Takulin says Andrew Heaney is pitching like an ace for the Yankees today. What the F? Yeah, go figure. David MLB says every team will win 60, every team will lose 60, and is how the umpires decide the other 40 whether you make the playoffs or not. That's true. Yeah, and let's see. Nathan says, I wish 4 years ago we traded everyone for prospects. Imagine how good we'd be right now. They should. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Nathan. They should have rebuilt a long time ago. Let's see. Rally Chris says, yes, let's get back to 500. Oakland is losing again. There will be 7.5 games out if everything holds on. Jose Quintana is pitching tomorrow. Pray for us. Let's see. The chair says, even with a win, Ohtani's outing. The bad news is Sandoval, typical Angels. My chiropractor says basically Sandy has locked up his lower back, and that sucks for a tall pitcher. You don't want that to happen consistently. That's what Ace says. Let's see. VT says, Todd is the effing man. You are the man, VT. Love you, man. And now we have to pay Ohtani big bucks. Yes, we do, Nathan. I think what we're going to do is he's already on arbitration contract right now. We sign up as much players as we possibly can and then backload his contract for next year. I say we take a shot in spring training or right before to lock Ohtani up before he has yet another big year. 2 big years back to back would be really hard to pay. I would try everything I possibly could to get him to negotiating table at the offseason and after free agency. I don't think you want to lock him up right away before you get the free agents, but I think right after. I think you go right after Ohtani to the freaking bargaining table. Don Hammond says we got to get a surefire ace pitcher to go with Ohtani. We need a Max Scherzer caliber pitcher. We absolutely have to. That is the truth. You get an ace to go along with this guy because he's turning into an ace. You get a two-headed monster to link that rotation with Sandoval, Suarez, and the rest of the young kids, Detmers. It could turn into a fantastic rotation. We can go from bargain basement, blockbuster video reject, bargain bin box pitchers to like a serious contending staff, just like that. And then we just would have to work on the bullpen. Nick Tukulin says Heaney had his best game today. That is nothing new. Yeah, it's 1 out of 4. That's for sure. Joseph Torino says, so that means Artie Farty needs to step it up. His team is going to be getting a lot of attention as long as Shohei is an angel. Yes, Joseph Torino, you're absolutely right. And yeah, Artie Farty needs to really get his act together, man. Manny says, anyone notice that McGregor strut Ohtani did? Oh, that was sick. And the one time they don't show it enough, like they'll show everything that Ohtani does like 6 or 7 times, especially Roger Lodge he'll play the clips. But that swag was so awesome to see in the dugout, and they were high-fiving him as he did those shoulder swag moves. It was great. Way to point that out, Manny. VQ says tits. Okay, thanks, VT or VQ, not VT. Ohtani is anonymous MVP for right now. Upton Power been going lately. T. Goldberg says Adele, nice outfield assist. Yeah, he made a couple nice catches out there. Ohtani just needed to work on his control to become an ace, and he has. VQ says Hank Conger for MVP. I gotta bring him back, right? T says knew we would go back to 500 again. Should have bet my life savings on it. Well, if you did, you would have did that like 25 times. With what the hell happened to Sandoval? Lower back strain, Don, and he only tweaked his back. Ace kind of covered that, and our wonderful training staff helped him out right there. VQ says Oakland is gonna collage. Okay, let's see. T says, F the training staff. Me and the homies hate the training staff. I hear you. Ohtani is going to get 40 miles or 40 million arbitration. Yeah, if he continues to go this way. Nathan says, imagine if Ohtani, Max Cobb, Detmers, C-Rod, and Packy. It could be, and our Sandoval as well. Mapadingo says at T. Goldberg, everyone hates the Angels training staff. Jaime Biera is another pitcher that I would actually package in a trade with Canning to get rid of Upton's contract if he possibly could. Jaime and Suarez are shaky for me. I do like Suarez a lot, though, more than Jaime. I like Jaime a little bit, but I think Suarez has proven himself. Heaney has had his usual one good game, and you get to your hopes up just for him to suck the next 3. Exactly, T. Roger Lodge here. Let's see that Ohtani home run again. Nathan, you're going to get he has a 3-hour show, right? Before it's like a 5 o'clock, 8 o'clock, or a 3 to 5 or something like that. He has a drive time show on AM 830, and I bet you about 70% of that show is possibly Ohtani's home run being hit or a strikeout call from the boys on the radio. Shout out to both sisters loving our logo and going to follow us. His Rally Chris is saying that right there. And then Solar Ghost says, Ohtani, let's fucking go, 40 home runs. Absolutely. Who knew that this kid would have 40 freaking home runs already? 40 home runs. And you know, I think this is his breakout year. This is his year where he's just turning into an absolute beast. And I think next year is going to be the time that we're going to see Mike Trout, and whether they decide to go 2-3 with him or 3-4 with those two, and then Walsh and whoever Rendon. You get those 4 guys together, whether Upton is here or not, or you place another left fielder in this lineup. This lineup, again, on paper, like it was supposed to this year before the training staff just eliminated all of that. This team next year, barring no injuries, could score record runs, because you can't in a lineup like this. We've seen it when there's back-to-back hitters. There's a reason why they used to call the Oakland A's with Canseco and McGuire the Bash Brothers, and everyone around the Bash Brothers took off. You know, Ricky Henderson's numbers were huge. Tony Phillips, when he was there, guys that batted around him, just their numbers went up because they batted around those 2 guys, because either those 2 guys were getting walked a lot, or they were, or you know, like when Barry Bonds, guys around him hit home runs before and after him, because like when that year they went to the World Series, Benito Santiago was on the last legs of his career. He had one of his best years, because he was batting behind Barry Bonds. He was able to see pitches because they had to walk Bonds, or they put pressure on the pitchers. That's the kind of things you're going to see, because then Rendon's, like Chase is saying, I think Rendon is going to turn into an MVP candidate next year if he stays healthy. He's going to get so many good pitches to see, because if Trout's in the lineup, Ohtani's in the lineup, you got Fletcher fouling off every pitch or getting on base. You got Walsh that's been hitting good, or you think he's going to replicate what he did this year. That's a dangerous freaking lineup. That's going to score a lot of runs. And if you solve the starting pitching problem, which really killed the Angels in the first half of the season, and you add a few pieces, sign back Iglesias, you can have a collective team put together. Not just what it is right now, Ohtani and Walsh and a bunch of injured names, and then a makeshift bullpen and a coming together rotation. See, right now, the strength of this team is that rotation, which I never would have thought where we would be right now. But you look, and you could fix those things with just getting guys healthy in the lineup, adding a piece or two, whatever you can do with Upton, whether he's here or not, but preferably trade him. Then you fix that bullpen, and you could sign back Iglesias. You get guys to link to Iglesias, that's it, man. All of a sudden, this team turns into a team that can not only contend with Houston, not only contend with Oakland doing Oakland things, they can go above them, meaning that team can rival your White Sox, your Rays, your Yankees. And I think that's the goal this team needs to get to. And I think it's like what looked like a long shot can be attained with the right moves in the offseason. And that's what's exciting. See, we just have to get through the bullshit through the end of August, and hopefully the team keeps playing like this with some fight. And don't go back, Madden, to playing stupid ball tomorrow or the next day. Don't be the Heaney of managers. Be consistent. Ride the wave. Ride the youth movement. Get the momentum and push. Push forward. Don't worry about the standings. If it happens, it happens. If a miracle doesn't, that's cool. Let's figure out what we got. Let's see who wants it next year and who wants to be here. And let's move forward with that. That is the key for this freaking team. Not worrying about the standings right now. Just get better. No matter who you are on this team, get better and get better as a team. Work together as a team. Play as a team. And try to do the little things that help the team. Let's get rid of all the BS. I got to pad my stats. I got to do this. No. Get the I out of it and make it about the team. And I'm telling you, this could be very exciting next year. It really could. And I'm not just blowing smoke. I'm not being a homer here. I'm seeing for what it is because, again, a month ago, prior to all the pitching coming together, I was just as lost as everybody because I didn't see a future in this team with it not really turning a corner, but it's beginning to because of the pitching. That's where it's all started. That's why we've been yelling at these idiots, namely Artie the Farty and all his minions that were below him, Epler and his stupid staff. We've been yelling for years for this kind of change. Finally, it's happening. So, yes, there is a lot to be excited about. Let me get back to some of these comments here because I kind of went through here. Let's see. Hold on. Get back. Okay, Ohtani is so good. Such a great human being. There you go. Hear me out. He'll be better than Trout in 3 years. That I can see that. No, Nathan, that's not such a hot take the way he's playing. Matt Badingo says, as much as we want Upton out here, I believe we are stuck with him. Should have traded him with the Yankees with Heaney. I'm pretty sure they put him out there, but the Yankees didn't need him because they got Gallo and a couple other guys to play those outfield positions. Nathan says, it's crazy to think that we have two of the best players in the world. Manny says, chill. Anyway, we get rid of Upton and we save a bunch of money. That we sure do. Manny says, send Canning and Jaime in a package for Bieber. OC boy, make it happen, Perry. Manny, Bieber has tweeted like several times that his dream is to play with Mike Trout. And his dream is to play in the OC. He doesn't want to play for the Dodgers, thank God. But imagine Cleveland Spiders, whatever, Indians, Guardians, whatever they're going to call each other right now. Bieber has, they have gotten rid of so many good pitchers off of Cleveland's staff over the years. It wouldn't shock me for them to get rid of them. I think Cleveland would want a prospect in return to. I'll give him Marsh if that's the case, if we can get him. I want Tristan McKenzie from Cleveland. Oh, Tristan McKenzie is sick. He almost had a perfect game the other day. Sadly, Artie, so good call right there, Chase. Matt Badingo says, sadly, Artie doesn't know how to push forward, only backwards. That's why if Perry's in control, I think we're pushing forward. Manny says, well, throw out some prospects too. Adams Adams and Jackson's all high up. There you go. Angel's grandma says Artie has to pass on spend money, or he has to stop spending big money on the wrong players. Let's turn it around, Moreno, and let's get an ace to go along with Ohtani. Let's go, Angels. And then Bieber to the Angels in the offseason. Please skip my comment, Todd. Oh, my bad. I was talking about the joke in Oakland A's. Oh, my bad. Sorry about that, Don. I had to, let me see if I can get back to it real quick here. Let's see. No, I didn't see the comment. I don't know if it came up on here. I didn't see it. But anyway, let me get to Chase. Chase says Bellflower Sheriff look-alike Jeff Kent should have thanked Barry Bonds for the great pitchers or pitches Kent saw. Jeff Kent looking like Barry Bonds. Looking like a Bellflower Sheriff cop. Dude, he does. He had that stupid porn mustache the entire time, too. Let's see. Tonight at 8:30 p.m., Ty Butcher will be on Twitter Space talking about the game and stuff like that. Thank you, Rally Chris. Rally Chris also says, what was Papa Fox saying about the game? He was blown away. My dad was really, really happy the fact that, Ohtani just went. He was kind of disappointed he didn't go 9 because I think he had 90 or 94 pitches. He could have. But, Joe Madden doesn't believe in letting guys finish games. So he went with Raciel, and in hindsight, it was the right move. Raciel did his job, 1, 2, 3. Miggy almost took him deep, but hey, credit the pitch was just a little bit outside, so where he hit it off the end of the bat, if he gets barrel on the ball, that ball flies just as far as Ohtani's home run. So to keep that in mind, even at Miggy's age, that would have been the 500 home run, and I would have been okay with that. To be honest with you, if Miggy hits a home run right there, it's a great night for Detroit baseball because they get to see Miggy hit his 500th home run, and they also got to see Ohtani pick up a win and get the 40th home run. So that would have been cool. And shout out to all the Japanese and Asian American fans that were there in Detroit. Also the Angel fans that traveled. There was quite the contingency of Angels fans at the stadium. So that was really cool. And keep it up, man. That guy is going to draw a lot of fans on the road for the Angels. That is for sure. Chase says the roundup for this week might be a bit long and a bit late. There you go, because he's going to be covering a lot of stuff through the league, and then they're probably going to focus a lot on Shohei. So we do have a big Japanese following, by the way. When we look to our numbers, it shows what countries are listening and stuff. We do have some Japanese listeners. So I'm pretty sure when Chase puts the tags on there, we're going to get a lot of listeners listening to that episode. Manny says, thoughts on Detroit announcer mocking an Asian accent. Okay, I'm kind of conflicted on this one. If he says Ohtani-san like Victor Rojas has in the past, no problem. But when you come out there and you say you go in your imitation, which is clearly racist or at least a little off, okay, I can see how that's a problem. Obviously, nowadays you really can't say anything without pissing somebody off. Somewhere, somehow, someone's going to get pissed off. Do I think it gets him suspended or fired? It shouldn't. I think suspended he's already been embarrassed, former player and everything else like that. I think you let it go. He doesn't have a track record. I was talking with someone today that was talking about Stephen A. Smith. It's okay to bash white people and spew out all this racism, but no one called Stephen A. Smith the racist until he went in on Ohtani. So I think that's wrong too. If you're going to call it one way, call it all ways. So I don't think a specific race should be pushed out just because of certain things can be said. It should go for everybody. You shouldn't be able just to be like, white people are this, white people are that. Or you can't just say, Asian people, you can't say that about them. Or you can't say this race can talk about everybody because of their struggles. I think it has to be down the freaking middle. It has to be down the middle. If you're going to call it one way for one person, let's call it for the other person. So if you're not going to suspend, that's where the argument for the Detroit guy comes for me, where I kind of back him up. If you're not going to get rid of a guy like Stephen A. Smith, no matter how much you pay him, not even suspend him, then don't suspend that guy. Because at least with him, the guy apologized right away. Right away during the game, he apologized. Stephen A. Smith doubled down. And then on top of that, after the Asian spewing of what he said, he apologized, but then used the race card and tripled down, even though he was Eduardo Perez came at him for the Hispanic side of things about not having to talk English. And then also, I forget the reporter for ESPN who slammed him again, saying that his talking English has nothing to do with him being the face of baseball. He still went down on it and still did not receive a suspension or even a slap on the wrist. So again, my points with that is just like, look, if you're going to call it down the middle. If you're not, shut the F up. Just shut the F up and move on. Because I'm tired of biased stuff like that. Either call it one way for everybody or don't call it at all. That's all. That's my thoughts, Manny. Matt Bedingo says, how was Grillmaster in the group chats? I didn't get to watch the game. Was out with my errands or running errands with the parents. Grillmaster says, wait, we won again? I was at work and still am. Almost closing time at work. Also super tired, so I haven't been able to watch or film. Well, the game was great, man. Again, the Angels are trying to do things here and trying to get one game at a time like they should have been doing this entire time. But hey, it's never. I guess what's the saying? Never. Something late than never, something later than later. I don't know. I'm kind of blanking on that. The chair says F. Stephen A. Smith. I'm right there with you. Let's see. Rally Chris says it sounded like a home game for the Angels after that Ohtani home run. Yeah, because the Tiger fans are appreciating greatness. It's like when Barry Bonds used to come to Dodger Stadium, even though Dodgers fans hated him when he hit a home run. I mean, they boo the hell out of him, but when he hit a home run, dude, listen to the home audience of Dodger Stadium. Most of them were cheering because you're still appreciating greatness. I mean, when I would see Kobe on the road, the fans would be like going nuts for him to miss, for him to fail. But when he hit that crazy shot, and no matter what stadium he was in, he did something great. You had to stand there and give him a standing ovation. So, I mean, stuff like that happens all the time in sports. The real fans will stand up and cheer. The other fans, because they witness greatness, but the other fans will be like, F them. But because it was like that with me and Cal Ripken. Cal Ripken, I never liked the guy. Didn't like the Orioles. They would always bash the Angels in the 90s. And lo and behold, he breaks his all-time record of streak against the Angels. And then in the same game, he hits a home run, which further threw salt in the wound. But even then, as much as I didn't like Cal Ripken, when he hit that home run, I was just like, all right, man, that's greatness right there, dude. That's MVP. That's whatever. That's like a Hall of Famer right there. And same thing with certain other players that the Yankees had over the years, that their careers came to the end. You kind of realize greatness and you kind of put your bias aside and we're like, hey, I was lucky to watch their careers. Because some of these young bucks coming up, like Big Hammer 20 right here, saying, he never saw Derek Jeter in his prime. He never saw Barry Bonds in his prime. These youngsters never saw those players. They see highlights. But if you're able to see those careers from start to finish or when they're doing their most dominant thing, it's pretty cool to see. And then you appreciate them even if they were on your rivals. Like I never liked Big Papi. I never did. I hated how ESPN always talked him up, Euclid, all those other guys, Johnny Damon, because it was always the East Coast bias. But when their careers were all over and you kind of look back and you're like, man, I witnessed a bunch of stuff. Jason Varitek was a hell of a catcher, got into fights with Alex Rodriguez, those rivalries that they used to shove down your throat. You kind of wished you watched more of them because they were that great, and they were great. So, yeah, as much as you'd hate them at the time, you appreciate them later because you got to see their full body of work. Kids nowadays don't know those players. They're probably listening right now and like, who the hell are you talking about? So, yeah, there you go right there. Let's see. Home opener tomorrow, Big 20 says, oh, better late than never. Thanks, Grillmaster. Yes, Big 20 Hammer has his home opener for freshman football. Dude, I hope you have a good game and you kick some ass tomorrow. So best of luck to you. Business before pleasure. No, it's not that one. It's better. It is better late than never. So as we wrap up the show today, I just want to say thank you for everyone, getting on here and talking us up and everything. Continue following the page. Halos in the Infield is growing. We want to grow with you. We've got a lot of stuff to give away. Unfortunately, not today because we exhausted all of our hats, but we will have some more hats this weekend. So stay tuned for that. I'll probably give away 2 on Sunday for Trucker Hat Trivia. And then as we wind down the season, we're going to have more giveaways, so stay tuned for that. We have another game coming up. Not a bingo. It's going to be something different. So tell your friends about that. And if anytime you're at a game or anything Angels related, tag us. We will put it on our story. So remember that. Go to Redbubble. We have some great new freaking designs. I don't know if you've seen the Angels logo, which is kind of Disney-esque, but with the Angels A on top. Randy kicked ass with that logo and another logo as well. I suggest you guys check that out. And also, we are still trying to get funds together for catering for the MLB players down south for single A 66ers. We're trying to get that squared away. So all shirts that are bought or any products with the MIB stuff that are on redbubble.com under Halos the Infield goes straight to those players. So we're hoping you guys can donate by purchasing some nice cool shirts. Ty Butchery and a few others have. They've been pimping us out right there, so we're really happy about that. So continue good work with everyone on this team of Halos in the Infield, and we will catch you guys. Let's see. We'll be back here tomorrow. Tomorrow will be an early game. Real quick. The trivia is going to be on Sunday. Viva Los Angelitos. There you go. Tomorrow will be the game that we're going to be talking about at 12 o'clock. It starts at 10 o'clock, I think. So we should be on the air around 12:30, 1 o'clock, depending on how the pitching goes. Few last comments. Matt Bedingo says Stephen A. Smith, Max Kellerman, Shannon Sharp, Skip Bayless are like that on all their shows, putting fans down on their favorite teams. Yes, and still people watch, Matt. I don't get it. These guys are blatant racist and just basically race baiters, and all they do is talk crap. And the only guy that, what's his name, the basketball player that called them out and really ripped them, unfortunately has lost his luster. I think should be more guys like him. Kwame Brown. There needs to be more Kwame Browns going after these dicks on TV. 10-10 start, Marty says. Trivia will be Sunday. Take a look at that. We'll have 2 questions for that. I like the new Angels design. Looks pretty cool. Thank you. Thank you so much, Marty. Keep it up. Stand-up is going to have to wait. We're going to be doing the show tomorrow, so save the stand-up for tomorrow. 10-10 start. Angels in Detroit in the finale. Let's get the sweep and have a good